Oh, it's live, pal.
Sorry.
We will ban you from the Summerfest.
Right here in the Silverdome.
Jeff Harvey.
And I have half the brain that you do.
Welcome to the Wrestle Hunks Podcast, a podcast where three hunks get together and discuss some of the very worst things you can find on the WWE Network, and the only podcast that hasn't yet signed with AEW. I'm your host, the Mordecai of Microphone, Brandon Marlow, and as always, I'm joined by the hunkiest hunk, Brody Price.
That's right.
And I'm also joined by the IMDb of Wrestling, Nathan Marlow.
Yeehaw! It's a bit of a Cow Palace theme. Yeehaw! Yippee-kayak.
I'm disappointed you didn't meow again, like you just did
Meow! Yeah.
off the recording.
Bonus to the cat.
Did he actually meow? I don't think I've actually seen Ernest
No,
outside of
no, he did.
Ooh.
He did not.
What's the point of being called the cat?
Good. He's a cool cat.
Cat-like reflexes.
Yeah.
So the Wrestle Hunks Podcast is again brought to you by a sponsor, and if you've been listening to the start, you know the drill now. Our expert Jamie Noble is going to tell you a little bit more about it.
Hey, it's Jamie Noble, baby. And when I kiss Nidia, baby, I get my fuck on, baby. And then I need a Johnny, baby. So I chuck on my WWE Stone Cold condoms, baby. For protection, baby. Come on, kiss her, baby. Yeah, get a tongue down there, baby. Yeah.
There you go.
I think our female listeners will be very aroused by that ad read right there.
Down at the trailer park, baby.
Yeah, goodness me.
Fun fact, in 2016, Jamie Noble was stabbed in his trailer park.
What? Fuck.
Yep. By two guys.
Wouldn't that have been
man.
in the middle of like the J&J security run?
No, that's it. That's 2016. Like, that's 2 years after that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if he had the other J with him, he probably wouldn't have got stabbed.
Oh, he just needed his own JJ security.
Well, so this week we are reviewing No Way Out 2004. So suck it, Bruce and Conrad. We got to it first, you motherfuckers. You're gonna lick my ass.
Ooh.
I couldn't believe that. When Nat sent me that photo, I was like, fuck, look at these fuckers. They've been listening to us and they're trying to fuck on us.
I just finished listening to it today, and I'm like, oh, St. Valentine's Day Massacre, that was one of our options. And then at the end, when they say they're doing No Way Out 04, I'm like, it's a bit of a coincidence. I think they might be listening.
They are. They definitely are.
I hope so. I hope Conrad can sign me to a contract so I can get away from you fuckers.
No, just bring us the StarCast.
Yeah.
We'll podcast to an empty room. We don't care.
Well, I've been sent from AEW. I've been sent a promo photo of the Wrestle Hunks at Double or Nothing.
Really?
What?
By sent, I mean I photoshopped. But same thing. Honestly, hand in hand.
I think we're definitely going to be signed to AEW by the end of this.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
We'll do the the post pay-per-view show. That'll be us on the panel.
Who's the hottest free agent now that Kenny's signed? It's got to be us, right?
It has to be. With great content like this.
Yeah, it's on fire at the moment.
We're the new best bout machines.
Best podcast machines.
So back in the day, No Way Out used to be the last stop on the road to WrestleMania. But of course, these days we have Elimination Chamber, which is actually up next week, and Fastlane taking that role. It was pretty competitive in the poll this week. No Way Out won with 40%, while St. Valentine's Day Massacre had 33%, and AJ Styles debuting on WCW Thunder grabbed 21%. And almost literally nobody wanted to watch Over the Limit 2011 because it ended up with just 6% of the vote. And at one stage, I think there was about like 30 odd votes, and it had literally nothing. I was worried it was going to get the big duck there for a moment, but some weird cats came out and decided to vote for that.
That goes into the poll with Slam City. Into the rejects poll.
The options that have just been absolutely rejected by the people on Twitter.
Have we ever had one get 0 votes?
Not yet from memory. But I think Over the Limit might be the closest though.
That's definitely the closest.
Like there was definitely not long to go, and Over the Limit hadn't been touched yet. Which I don't know why. Like, there's a couple good matches on the card and some couple real bad ones. There's a bit for everything.
I mean, 2011 is not very enticing to choose on a poll.
Yeah, honestly, I don't remember much about wrestling at that time, to be honest.
CM
There you
Punk.
go.
Yeah, just CM Punk. I envision every
Who's
single
that?
match that happened at that time as CM Punk.
I don't know who that is.
He's a superstar UFC fighter.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I know him.
So we're UFC guys now, Nat.
I've been telling Pricey about how much UFC I've been watching actually recently. Been watching a lot.
You watched the whole pay-per-view start to finish yesterday, including
recently
the preliminary fights.
Exactly. I've recently found out Reebok are very strict with their uniforms.
With their uniforms? What uniforms?
You can't, if you're a fighter, you can't wear anything but Reebok.
Oh, really?
If you change anything, there was a commentator who photoshopped a photo of himself wearing the Reebok gear and photoshopped in a Nike logo, and he was fired.
Wow. Does that include, like, on the way to the ring, like, wearing hats and shit?
Yeah, and that's why you don't see any sponsors shorts anymore.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty...
Because Dana White said it was looking a little too much like NASCAR. And that's funny because the ring is now absolutely plastered with
the ring is just
sponsors.
covered in shit. Like, it's pretty bad.
Sorry for overtaking. Continue.
This is the UFC podcast?
Hey, one day we will get to reviewing UFC 61, which is regarded as the worst pay-per-view of all time.
Is it really? Why is it that bad?
It's just a bad show, apparently.
Well,
Like a really bad show.
if it really is that dog shit, we might have to chuck it up one day. Really,
I've got it.
I'm guessing it had really bad booking.
Oh, yeah. You know how UFC is. They usually get the stories wrong.
Yeah.
So bringing it back to No Way Out 2004, had either of you seen this pay-per-view previously? I have a feeling Pricey might have seen this one.
Yeah, I've watched this a lot. I think I had it on DVD. From memory, I didn't think it was I thought it was an okay pay-per-view from memory, just because Eddie won the title. So, yeah, I've mainly watched that match like 100 times.
What about you, Nat?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times, I think. It's an alright pay-per-view. I enjoy it.
Well, I'm the odd one out here. I actually hadn't seen any of the matches here. I hadn't even seen the main event, to be
Really?
honest.
Oh, wow.
I'm seeing like the finish, but I'd never actually watched it start to finish.
Wow.
So yeah, we never owned the DVD. We never owned like a Eddie Guerrero DVD where it would have like his greatest hits on it. So
Fair enough.
never got to see this one, unfortunately. So that brings us to the history, build-up, and background of No Way Out 2004, and it was held on February 15, 2004, which is pretty close to 15 years the day of us recording this. And on this day in history, we had the 46th Daytona 500, which was won by Dale Earnhardt Jr. The 53rd NBA All-Star Game was also on. That was held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles that year, and the West beats the East 136-132, and Shaq gets the MVP. So
What is that?
There's a lot of shit going on this day. You got a pay-per-view, you got NASCAR's flying around the track, and then you got Shaq just dominating the All-Star Game.
I'd have a hard time keeping up with this if I was watching all this live back then.
It's a shame that Shaq couldn't be MVP in the finals of that year, though.
Ooh.
You know, just a champion team will beat a team of champions. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Are we talking about the Thunder's championship win this year? Is that what we're talking about?
I was actually talking about the Supersonics when they won their title back in the day.
1970-ish. I don't remember what year it is, but it was a good one.
We've also got the 57th British Film and Television Awards, or the BAFTAs as they're more commonly known as, where the Lord of the Rings Return of the King wins Best Film and Peter Weir wins Best Director. In deaths, we've got Jan Miner, an American actress, dying at 86, and Jens Evensen, a Norwegian minister and jurist, dying. We seem to have a lot of jurists in this death section.
I mean, that's a shame, really, isn't it?
We need more jurists. We've also got, in pop culture, 50 First Dates was the #1 film at the box office, and I want to point out that this is a hella underrated Adam Sandler flick.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
It's not great, I'll be real.
It's good. Chandler, Drew Barrymore. She's got amnesia.
Yeah. It's so good.
I don't think I've ever seen it start to finish though. Just catch it in spurts on Channel 9.
I'm just going to stick to That's My Boy, I think.
That's My Boy was better than I was expecting when I finally got forced to watch it by you.
Yeah, it's one of his great movies. right up there.
I'm a big fan of Sandy Wexler.
I'm still waiting to see how Sandy Wexler goes. I only got to see the first scene before Stuart rudely turned that off.
Yeah, it's because we were making jokes about it.
If you want to watch a bad movie, watch Boy Overboard. The first Adam Sandler big film.
Really? What year is that?
That's 89. It's really bad.
Jesus. We've also got Take Me to the Clouds Above by LMC versus U2. It's one of them bangers where they have the dudes that remixed it and then they're just like, versus U2 in the title, which is... They didn't bring that back. That was the number one song on the charts.
That's a thing.
So yeah, why do we never have songs I've ever heard of in this?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Why haven't you heard the songs? Maybe your music taste is shit.
I don't know. In 2004, I was listening to like Eminem and 50 Cent. I wasn't really a U2 guy at that time.
I don't think anyone was a U2 guy.
Do you reckon U2 ever had a pay-per-view theme in the WWE? I don't reckon they did.
But not on the that level yet, I wouldn't have thought.
So the location of No Way Out 2004 was the Cow Palace in San Francisco, California, and the attendance marked down for this event was 11,000, and the pay-per-view buy rate was 265,000. This was the lowest buy rate for a No Way Out at the time since the very first one back in 1998. However, it was actually the best buy rate for a non-Big Four pay-per-view in 2004 next to Backlash, which is not too bad. But yeah, it was a pretty down year in terms of buys overall. And the pay-per-view before this was the 2004 Royal Rumble, which took place on January 25, or January 26 here, which is just a January 26 Royal Rumble. That's the most Australian thing you can get.
That's the dream.
It really was. In school, you just always hope that a pay-per-view would fall on a Monday public holiday.
Yeah, it's the only chance we got. So, lucky WrestleMania was always on school holidays.
I remember WrestleMania 27 was, for some reason, school was still on then.
Was it?
Yeah, because I remember I was like, fuck, there's no way I'm getting out of school. Parents were just, you got to go to school, learn your woodwork.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I had to stay off my phone the whole day and then went home and just watched The Rock make his return.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Maybe I've blocked that WrestleMania out, but I don't remember watching that live either, so that makes sense.
I've only watched that WrestleMania once as well. Literally, when we came home from school, I watched it and then never again.
Yeah, fair.
So on that show, we've got Evolution defeating the Dudley Boys in a table match for the World Tag Team Championships. They retain there. Rey Mysterio retains his Cruiserweight Championship against Jamie Noble. Eddie Guerrero defeats Chavo Guerrero. Brock Lesnar retains his WWE Championship against Hardcore Holly in one of the most random WWE Championship matches in history. We also have Triple H and Shawn Michaels having a draw in their last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And, of course, Chris Benoit wins the Royal Rumble match. As for the main event feud going into this show, Eddie Guerrero won a 15-man Battle Royal on the January 29 episode of SmackDown. It was dubbed the SmackDown Rumble. Do either of you know if that was actually like a proper Royal Rumble rules?
I think it was 30 man?
No, it was 15.
Yeah,
it was 15, yeah.
But it was. They came out in number order like that every 90 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever.
That's actually sick. Like, I want to go back and watch that now. I didn't realise that they'd done a Rumble then.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure most of the participants are just like the SmackDown guys that were in the Rumble. So,
yeah,
but it's still pretty cool.
So, obviously, Eddie wins the right to challenge for the WWE Championship at No Way Out against Brock Lesnar. So, outside the storyline with Guerrero, Lesnar was involved in a rivalry with Goldberg, a member of the Raw brand. The feud between Lesnar and Goldberg began at the Royal Rumble. Lesnar interfered in the Royal Rumble match, where Goldberg was kind of taking over, and he hit him with an F5, which allowed Kurt Angle to eliminate him. And on the week of January 26th, Lesnar and Goldberg conducted promotional segments on both of their shows, in which they both kind of insulted each other and were kind of building towards a WrestleMania program, as kind of most people at the time figured. And the following week on an episode of Raw, General Manager Steve Austin gave Goldberg the option of attending No Way Out by giving him a front row ticket. And then on SmackDown that week, the storyline between Eddie and Lesnar kind of kicked off when they began brawling during an in-ring segment. The other kind of main event level feud that was going on at the time was for the number one contendership at WrestleMania. On the Feb 5, 2004 episode of SmackDown, Paul Heyman scheduled a triple threat match between the Big Show, Kurt Angle, and John Cena for No Way Out. The winner of the match would go on to face whoever was the WWE Champion at WrestleMania. And the rivalry continued to develop the following week when Angle was scheduled to team with Guerrero to face the Big Show and Lesnar. But Kurt Angle was laid out backstage and was left vague as to who it would be. Cena then replaced Angle in the match and defeated his opponents with Eddie. And the other, I guess, notable feud is for the Cruiserweight Championship, which was kind of centered around Chavo being jealous of Rey Mysterio for producing a song called Crossing the Borders, which was actually the No Way Out official theme. Did you guys get a good listen of Crossing the Borders during the show?
It's shit.
I've listened to this a lot because I've seen the pay-per-view so many times, so I know it pretty well.
I want to know what it means by Rey Mysterio producing it. Like, did he actually get on the decks and produce the song, or?
I think it just means made.
Yeah.
Because if Rey's into music, how come he never hooked up with Cena and they just made it? That would have been an all-time number one selling song.
And then they could have come out on a lowrider with Stone Cold.
Exactly. Number one feud from SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, with a random dude driving the lowrider. So Heyman made a match between the two for the Cruiserweight Championship at No Way Out. And on the Feb 5 episode of SmackDown, that's when that took place. And the following week on SmackDown, Mysterio was accompanied by Jorge Paez, a professional boxer and childhood friend of Mysterio, who appeared in the Crossing Borders music video, apparently. Rey was facing Tajiri. Mysterio defeated Tajiri, but was attacked by Guerrero and Chavo Classic after the match. But then old mate Paez, the boxer with the Tyson Kidd haircut, intervened and helped Rey. And that kind of brings us to the show here. And the number of dead people on the show, it's a all Guerrero cast this week. The only people who had passed on this card was Eddie and Chavo Classic.
How's Jorge Paez? Is he still kicking?
I didn't look him up. Maybe I should look him up.
Yeah.
How the fuck do I spell his last name? There's a Jorge Paez dentist in the suggestions here. I don't know if that's him. He's 53. He's still kicking. He had 98 fights. Won 79 of them.
Good for him.
Dude's crazy. How do you have 98 fights?
How was he not, got brain damage?
I mean, the way he was kind of jumping around when Rey came out, I thought, something's wrong with him. You can tell that he's been getting his head caved in for a living.
Yeah, that's fair.
So the show literally just kicks off with Tori Wilson and Sable making an entrance here. We have no video package, no pyro, no pay-per-view theme, just Tori and Sable. Taz and Cole seem to enjoy it though, and so did the crowd, to be honest. They're out there to kind of promote their Playboy shoot, and they welcome us to No Way Out and then leave. These wrestling fans, they used to just be so damn horny. But it's such a weird start to a pay-per-view. I feel like this would be something you would see on Heat before the show, but no, they kicked the actual card off with it.
Yeah, it's a bit out of place.
And I thought we were just going to kick on with no actual intro to the pay-per-view, because they cut to Cole and Taz, who then throw to the Spanish announce team, and it's Hugo fucking Savinovic's birthday.
Oh, yes, yes.
I just thought that was an important thing. I'm surprised that the on this day in history didn't have Hugo's birthday. But yeah, shout out to one half of the GOAT Spanish team.
I wonder what Carlos Cabrera bought him for his birthday.
Oh yeah, he better have got him something. They're just
probably WWE Live in Italy.
Bought him tickets to it because it hadn't happened yet. It's there's going to be a deal.
Yeah.
You can go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, we cut to a video package for No Way Out. It's the weird start to a pay-per-view. And I feel like it's entirely designed around a Playboy shoot and saying happy birthday to Hugo Savinovich, which, I don't know, it's weird, but it happens. And then we get the actual proper intro to the pay-per-view and our first match of the night, which is Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty defeating the Basham Brothers and Shaniqua via pinfall in a handicap tag team match to retain the WWE Tag Team Championships. It goes 8 minutes and 16 seconds, and it's given 1.25 stars by Dave Meltzer.
Rikishi hits this, it's over. Look at that. Goodbye, Shaniqua. Bonsai drop to the ribs. Squished Amazon. Shoulders down. 2. It's over. Rikishi and Scotty retain.
So the match starts and Michael Cole legitimately asks Taz whether the handicap match favours the Bashams or Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty, which is just such a dumb question. I was like, of course it favours the Bashams and Shaniqua. They've got an extra person. It doesn't matter if it's a woman. You think I hate women's wrestling? I think Michael Cole is the one that really hates women's wrestling.
And Shaniqua was like beating up Scotty 2 Hotty in like the SmackDowns leading up to it, so it's not like she's like not strong.
Yeah, like they play up her lariat to Scotty big time. And Shaniqua's fucking tall. Like I swear she's bigger than the Bashams.
Yeah, she looks it.
So yeah, like I don't know. She's built up pretty strongly. I don't know how else it would be an advantage to Scotty and Rikishi, but I guess Michael Cole's got to fill the air somehow. Rikishi pretty early on tries to shove his fat ass in Shaniqua's face, but she gets saved at the last second. Scotty tries to hit the worm, but Shaniqua clotheslines him again. Rikishi tries to hit the bonsai drop on Shaniqua, but the Bashams grab him off the second rope and powerbomb him. And Shaniqua tries to clothesline Rikishi, but he blocks it, hits a Samoan drop, and then he gets the pin and the win after finally hitting a bonsai drop. What do you guys think of the opener here at No Way Out?
I didn't particularly like this match, but there wasn't anything wrong with it. It's always good to see Scotty 2 Hotty and Rikishi, so I enjoyed that. But overall, I didn't care for it really. There's nothing wrong, but it just wasn't great.
What are your thoughts on the match, Nat?
It's kind of sad watching this because Rikishi looks terrible.
Yeah, this was
like he can barely walk to the ring. Like that's how bad he looks.
Is 2004 the last year of Rikishi in WWE?
Yeah, pretty sure it gets released soon.
So yeah, he's on his way out. I was surprised that he was tag champ in 2004. To be honest,
he does not look good. He can't do anything in the ring. Like just very very clear. He's just there to sometimes get the pop of the stink face, I guess. And I guess Scotty's the perfect guy to carry him through the match.
Hey, when you have a big fat ass, you're always gonna be over. That's why the WWE should have hired Akibono.
Oh, missed opportunity.
So yeah, I'm kind of similar with you guys. I thought this was an okay match. It was nothing special. I think Scotty and Rikishi, and I mean you could have thrown in Grandmaster Sexay as well. They just work so well as an opening act because they're guaranteed to get the crowd popping just with their entrance. Scotty doing the worm, Rikishi and his fat ass. Like the crowd just eat that shit up. So it's kind of the perfect opening act because it's gonna definitely get the crowd up and alive, which they're pretty much alive throughout the whole show. So I think it does its job, but it's nothing special. Like you're never gonna remember this match after you've watched it. I always like for a second when the Bashams come out during this era, it always takes me a little bit to adjust because I always just associate them with JBL, and they come out and they're fucking being dominated and shit, and I'm just like,
yeah,
oh yeah, they had that gimmick and they won the tag titles with it.
At least they didn't have their gimp mask or anything like that.
I can't remember which pay-per-view it is. Didn't we own one pay-per-view on DVD Nat where they do have the full like fucking get up? I swear I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it's like wrestling was weird.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure why this was a handicap match. Like, what's the reasoning for Shaniqua being added to it? Is it just because Heyman's a heel, or
probably she keeps attacking the guys, so just throw her in there and she can attack them legally.
Don't know about you guys, but I noticed that Scotty 2 Hotty looked like he was ready to go motorbike riding.
Yeah, they were kind of weird.
He's wearing his Fox motorbike riding pants. He's going to go do some sick jumps on his Pee Wee 50. I wasn't expecting that from Scotty. I was just like, came out with motorbike pants. I'm like, all right, do you, man. My final note on this match was someone in the front few rows has a "You're all going to hell" sign, and I just thought he must have thought that Chris Benoit was still on SmackDown at this stage to have that sign.
Might have made it a couple weeks earlier before the Royal Rumble.
He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to No Way Out. Sick. Yeah, I got great seats. I'm going to hold up this sign for Benoit." It's like, fuck, he jumped ship. Did either of you have any other notes on this match?
No, I don't think so.
What about you, Nat?
I think it was a good choice to open the pay-per-view with this match, I think.
Yeah, it was a solid opener. Nothing spectacular, but yeah, can't complain. It was only 8 minutes. They got their shit in and wasn't awful, so not too bad. We move on here, and before the next match, we get a video package for the intense Nidia and Jamie Noble rivalry, and it's actually a pretty good summary of the feud, I thought. It goes through like a whole heap of stuff that I actually didn't know going into the match, which I liked, and I can't believe Nidia put her mink coat through a wood chipper.
That was funny, though.
Like, Jamie Noble gives her such a great gift, and she's just ungrateful.
I want all the stuff I bought you back, especially that mink coat.
How long do you reckon that Jamie Noble promo was? Because based on the video package, it looked like it was long as, and he was just out there.
Yeah, had to be 20 minutes. 10 at least.
Do you reckon the crowd shat on it? I reckon that's something the crowd would have shat on.
What?
Like, why is Jamie Noble still out here talking? So after the video package, we get the actual match, which is Jamie Noble defeating Nidia via pinfall in a boyfriend versus girlfriend blindfold match. It goes 4 minutes and 23 seconds, and Dave Meltzer gives it a dud, which, I mean, we'll get into our thoughts about that later, but this is definitely not a dud.
Jamie Noble cheated. He pulled the damn hood off. Well, thanks for coming. That's going to be it, I'm telling you. And now look at Jamie Noble. What the hell is this? That's a dragon sleeper. That's a choke. That's a beautiful hold. And Nidia's tapping out.
Both of these cats make their entrance, and their entrance themes are god-awful. Nidia dacks Jamie Noble, which is just a classic schoolyard prank. Nidia then goes to the top rope, but while Charles Robinson has his back turned, Noble lifts up his blindfold to see where she is. He throws her from the top rope and locks in a guillotine for the win. Taz, for some reason, calls it a dragon sleeper. I don't know why. What did you guys think of the blindfold match?
I just wrote, this is good shit. This is really good shit. I got here, like, this is one of the best stories they've ever told, let's be honest. Like, from Noble getting the inheritance to her getting blinded by Drew's black mist. It's just, what a story.
Honestly, it's pretty good, like, long-form storytelling. That whole storyline must have gone for months and months. Like, it starts with him getting the inheritance, she's blind for a bit, and then it leads to this. Like, it's actually not that bad.
I reckon he got the inheritance maybe late 2002 or 2003, maybe? It's like a long time.
He was with Nidia for so long.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. I enjoyed Nidia. She was out there playing the wrestling version of Marco Polo. She was like stomping on the mat just to see if he'd come over to it. No, it was just really, really funny. Like, I thought this was a good match to have on the card. Just have a bit of comedy, and we can't have 5-star classics every match. So I thought this was good.
What were your thoughts, Nat?
Yeah, I thought it was funny, and it's an attraction. It's not supposed to be a proper match. Don't even know why he fucking graded it. Like, there's no point. And I bet you Bruce Prichard will say the exact same thing. Like, it's an attraction.
Yeah.
Like, it's there for humor. Like, just a relief. And I thought it was funny. I thought it was good. Yeah,
well, like, I'm in complete agreement. First off, this is the second best blindfold match I've ever seen. Right after Triple H and Goldust. Was it Gold? No, it wasn't Goldust. Triple H and... Who was the other cat in that match?
D'Lo Brown?
Yeah, D'Lo.
Yeah.
Which that match was funny as fuck. That was slightly ahead of this one. But yeah, I enjoyed this. This is way better than the dud, and I'm convinced Dave Meltzer does not have a sense of humor at all.
Probably not.
I mean, it's pretty much known, like, Dave Meltzer does not like comedy wrestling. Just in, like, New Japan, they've got Yano, who always, like, tries to cheat. Like, all of his matches are comedy matches. And he did a comedy match with Kenny Omega in the G1, and I'm pretty sure he gave it, like, negative stars or something. Like, he just fucking hates comedy matches. And, like, I don't know why. Not everything in wrestling needs to be super serious.
Yeah, he probably appreciates like how this is probably why he loves New Japan. How like they portray it as a sport more than entertainment. I mean,
Yeah,
this is good shit. This is really funny.
That would make sense. Why he's so in love with like shit like that. But yeah, like I was listening to the St. Valentine's Day Massacre Something to Wrestle With, and he gave Blue Dust versus Gold Dust minus stars, and Bruce Prichard said the same thing. Like it was funny. It's just a comedy match. It doesn't need to be rated like so seriously.
Yeah.
It was Gaga.
Like, just have a laugh. I don't want everything on a wrestling card to be serious. If everything's fucking Kenny Omega versus Okada down the card, then like it gets boring.
Mm-hmm.
So like everything else on this show is super serious wrestling. Like, why can't we have Jamie Noble and Nidia go at it? And I actually thought Nidia, I wasn't expecting much from her in the ring, but I thought like when she actually did like wrestling shit and take bumps and stuff, she didn't look too bad. So I can't complain. 4.5 minutes, like it's not gonna kill you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really have any notes on the match. What about you guys?
No, I've sort of ran through mine.
Any from you, Nat?
Oh, go kiss her, baby. Go on next match, baby.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So we flash back to the last episode of SmackDown where Kurt Angle was attacked backstage, and Kurt Angle then came out and attacked Cena and Big Show with a chair to kind of end the show. Josh Matthews then interviews Kurt Angle, and Matthews is wearing a fucking turtleneck, has blonde tips, and a gold hoop earring. This is the perfect
the earrings are the one that got me.
interviewing outfit. Imagine next episode of Raw, you just we're going backstage right now to Mike Rome, and he's just rocking a turtleneck and some fucking frosted tips.
I actually have that in my notes. I'm like, what this combo he's got going on is a look. He's killing it.
I can't believe like Vince was okay with that he's wearing that outfit. Like usually they're wearing like, I feel like in this era they'd wear like a polo shirt or something if it was a guy doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a turtleneck.
Mike Rome's spitting chips that he has to wear a suit instead of this.
Yeah, everybody's gonna wear a fucking suit now, just fucking full dressed up. Why can't you just come dressed as you would? Come dressed as you are Street Fight.
Yeah, exactly.
So as Kurt is talking to Josh Matthews, Cena interrupts him and says that he didn't jump Kurt. He then swings on Kurt and they have a bit of a brawl here. We then next up get the world's greatest tag team defeating the APA via pinfall in 7 minutes and 21 seconds. And this gets 1.25 stars from Meltzer.
But Bradshaw hurt his arm. Charlie Haas is not the legal man. Shelton Benjamin in. With that kick leg. Shelton got him out. And Benjamin and Haas pick up the victory.
Before the match, we see that Shelton kind of injured Bradshaw's shoulder on SmackDown and was targeting it. But Bradshaw still ended up winning their match. In the actual match here, though, Bradshaw hits the last call to Shelton Benjamin, but Charlie Haas runs in and breaks up the pin. Bradshaw then hits him with the clothesline from hell, but he's not the legal man, which allows Benjamin to sneak up from behind, hit a super kick, and get the win. What do you guys think of the match here?
I didn't care for this one particularly. I just wasn't into it. I thought the crowd, they popped pretty well for the clothesline from hell, which surprised me. And there was a few APA signs in the crowd, so I don't know at this point the APA were over or they were always over. I really have no idea, but
always pounding ass, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Nat?
Well, I would have said it's the worst match on the card if the next one wasn't on it. I just did not give a shit about it. It was very thrown together. What they had the last SmackDown, was like the build up. Like it was very thrown together onto the card. So
yeah,
I don't know. Kind of showed with the match. There wasn't really much of a story either. So whatever. Moving on.
Well, if we want to see a truly thrown together match, that's the next match up on the card, as you alluded to. That's fucking.
Oh, that's not good.
I thought this was just an okay tag match. Like I really didn't care about it at all. I was nothing really sucking me in to care about the world's greatest tag team taking on the APA. I don't really like the APA that much. More of a fan of Bradshaw and his JBL days.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like a waste of the world's greatest tag team. Everything about this feels like a random SmackDown match rather than a pay-per-view contest. But I guess, like, from a technical standpoint, it's not awful, so, I mean, can't complain too much. It's not my favourite match I've seen of either of these teams, but yeah, could have been worse, definitely. I'm going to assume, do we have any notes on this, or are we moving on here?
I'll just say quickly, this is why the original brand split probably didn't work, because these pay-per-views that are single-branded, you get matches like this, and the next match that we'll talk about. So,
it's kind of like why the second brand split failed as well. Like,
roster wasn't deep enough.
Yeah.
Because, like, the WWE's got a super deep card at the moment, but still it's pretty hard to put together an actual, like, meaningful pay-per-view top to bottom when you split all of your talent in half, so
yeah,
you end up with shit like this.
Yeah, you want all the matches on the pay-per-view to have a story leading into it, not just be throwaway matches. So it's hard to do with a single brand.
Something that actually has some build to it, though, is the feud between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. So immediately after the match, we see Goldberg getting escorted to his ringside seat. He shows up fashionably late, multiple matches into the card. So, I mean,
I don't want to see those cruiserweight fuckers.
The cruiserweights.
Cruiserweight may still come, but
Goldberg's not going to be there for that either. So Goldberg just sees a total of 0 matches. Stone Cold, I like to imagine Stone Cold bought that ticket with his own money, and Goldberg doesn't even watch a single match.
Oh, I had a note about that actually. Did Stone Cold like get up at 8:30 and then 9 o'clock about 8:50 get onto Ticket Tech. 9 o'clock he's rushing in for a front row ticket.
I like to think it's 2004, so Stone Cold actually flew to the Cow Palace and had to go to the actual physical box office.
Yeah,
nice. Gonna get my ticket to No Way Out. Gonna give it to Goldberg.
Got my spot in the Rumble. It's gonna be great.
So for some reason, we get a video package now of the feud between Lesnar and Goldberg, which is kind of weird considering Goldberg's supposed to be an outsider and it's supposed to be shocking that he's actually turned up. We then see Goldberg at ringside and he hugs a bunch of kids, but thankfully none of them takes their shirt off. So, I just had to get that in there. Fucking Goldberg and his flabby son. So Paul Heyman then comes to the ring, and we then see a kind of shot of Goldberg's back, and it says Santa's sleigh on the back of his shirt for some reason. And was there a reason for that, or was he wearing?
Is that a movie?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that would make sense because I'm like, why are you wearing a Christmas themed thing? It's February. But
I think maybe it's a movie.
Yeah, he did do a Christmas movie. I'm pretty sure. Still wearing your own fucking movie merch in Feb when that movie probably came out like months ago. That's kind of douchebag move.
I mean, wearing your own gear in the front row is a bit of a douche move. John Cena didn't do it.
Didn't he?
He wore the WrestleMania t-shirt with jeans. That's actually a Mattel figure.
They'll just make anything these days, Mattel.
No, why not?
Just FYI, Santa's Sleigh, it was released in October of 2005, starring Bill Goldberg.
Wow.
Goldberg!
He's wearing a shirt for a movie that is fucking almost 2 years away.
Wow.
That's
fair.
Impressive. I'm surprised his movie career didn't take off like The Rock's. So Paul Heyman gets on the mic here and he threatens to have Goldberg arrested. Lesnar then comes out and tries to get Goldberg to come fight him. He kind of keeps goading him and then he calls him a bitch. And this leads to Goldberg jumping the barricade. These two go at it and Goldberg hits a jackhammer and Paul Heyman loses his damn mind. Security then arrests him and escorts him out of the ring while his fucking music plays. I hope if one day I get arrested, they start playing my interest music while I just get carried out. And while Lesnar is trying to exit the ring, Hardcore Holly's music hits and he runs down to the ring and Lesnar barely escapes.
I like that continuation on the story though.
Yeah, I thought that was actually a pretty sick transition. Like this, like
they didn't make that much of a deal about it, but I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it made it better. That was fucking better than the match coming out.
Oh, definitely. Like Hardcore Holly got his neck broken by Lesnar, so like just because he lost a match to him, I mean, Hardcore Holly's still going to be pissed about that.
Yeah, exactly.
So a nice little bit of continuity. I just thought, Nat, you're the impressions guru here, and you do a good Paul Heyman. Surely you can do an impression of Paul Heyman yelling for security here.
Security! 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 Please, sir, security!
He was going nuts. He was really giving it his all, fucking screwing.
Why did he wait till they fought?
Oh, who knows? It's wrestling.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
I also want to...
The Force Moors guys they sent out.
It's like we watch Brock these days, and he doesn't really speak. Like, he rarely says anything, but just the first words that came out of his mouth when he came down was, "How you doing, Bill?" And I was like, "The fuck is that? That's not the Brock we know."
Oh, obviously you haven't heard in the promo, the build up to their match. He goes, "Goldberg."
Oh god, I'll probably block that out.
Hey, Lesnar was a master on the mic. It's a shame they don't let him cut promos anymore.
When he dances to the ring doing the Mexican celebration.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's
good stuff.
gold.
That is good stuff, actually.
He's got a lot of charisma.
Charisma.
So after that, we obviously get Hardcore Holly's match. He defeats Rhyno here via pinfall in 9 minutes and 54 seconds, and Meltzer gives it 1 3/4 stars.
The gas hit, but still, look at this, the Alabama Slam! Out of nowhere, come on, hook of the right, Holly somehow picks up the win!
So Rhyno makes his entrance, and they basically immediately start fighting on the ramp. And, I mean, nothing of importance really happens in this match. It's a bit of a snooze fest until Rhyno hits the gore on Hardcore Holly, but Holly rolls out of the ring, so Rhyno can't capitalise. And then Hardcore Holly eventually wins the match via putting everybody to sleep. What do you guys think of this match?
Yeah, I just, one note, it just says kind of boring, that one. Didn't really care for it. I
Straight
just
to the point.
wanted to get stuck into the final 3 matches.
What about you, Nat?
I thought it was too long of a match for Hardcore Holly because he just had a match with Brock Lesnar. And you're trying to tell me Rhino is a believable opponent after Hardcore Holly just went through a match with Brock?
To be fair, his match with Brock is 6 minutes.
6 minutes, yes, I know.
A 6 minute
But
ban.
are you telling me Rhino is up there? I don't believe it.
Hey, he's got a powerful spear. He's kind of like Goldberg in a way.
And kind of hot take, Rhino, I've never been a fan of Rhino. I don't enjoy Rhino. Kind of hate him.
Me neither.
I don't think he has any charisma at all.
Actually, I have you seen him eating like food and stuff recently in the last couple of years?
No.
Just be on the show. Like, what were they?
No.
I saw like a GIF recently of like, I don't know what they had. They had like a barbecue. Do you remember that? Like the tag teams had a barbecue on Raw.
The B team held out because they wanted to be accepted by the division, so they had a barbecue.
Yeah,
God.
and Rhino's just sitting there eating, I don't know, burgers or some shit. It was just really funny.
And they start brawling, and he just starts throwing food at him.
It's great. It's good content. Other than that, he's not. I agree with you, Nat. Other than that,
Well, Nat, if you think he has no charisma, I think you're forgetting the match he had in TNA where they were playing up Rhino being an alcoholic, and this was probably against James Storm, to be honest. And they had a match where the entire ring was surrounded by they set up like a bar.
I don't remember this. Oh my god, I need to watch this.
He'd wrestle the match, and then he'd see the delicious alcohol, and he'd go into a trance. That was TNA's fucking great booking. It's like, let's just do an alcoholic feud, and then he'll be mesmerized by the booze.
Oh, I need to see this.
Yeah, it's. I feel like it was probably like something like in 2005. I remember reading about it in one of them wrestling magazines. I'm like, oh, okay, this is weird.
Jesus.
My thoughts on this match. My first thought was bring back Nidia. Her match was far more entertaining. I kind of like fell in and out of consciousness during this match. It was so boring. And then at one stage, the Spanish announcers just take over commentating mid-match. Like, what the fuck was on with that?
just want us to hear their voices.
I was like half paying attention, and then I hear Spanish, and I'm like, what? Did I click on something? Or...
No, it's like when they started talking in South African at one time watching cricket.
Yeah, but I was just confused, and it was honestly the most interesting thing that happened. I was wondering why did we have to have this match? The feud literally started on the last episode of SmackDown, and the match didn't get made until heat of that night. Like, it's the definition of we need something to pad time.
Yeah.
So Michael Cole squatted 95 pounds the other day, apparently, according to his chat with Taz, which
news.
Shout out to him. And I just wanted to ask you guys, did either of these guys have a surgically repaired neck?
No, neither.
Because in the match, commentary didn't mention it much.
No, they
Like, I wouldn't know. Like, if they didn't tell me that, I wouldn't know. Like, they needed to tell me at least 15 times that they both had surgically repaired necks. But yeah, that's all I had on the match. Did either of you guys have any notes?
No, I really didn't.
No, not really, no.
Well, don't blame you, because that was boring as fuck. And basically the first half of this card is just like filler for the last 3 matches. And we roll straight into a much better match, which is Chavo Guerrero defeating Rey Mysterio via pinfall to win the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. This match goes 17 minutes and 21 seconds, which I was surprised by. I didn't think the Cruiserweights would get that long. And Meltzer gives it 3.25 stars.
Wait a minute! Well, she did! Oh, and he pushed the referee didn't see it! Cruiserweight champion!
Before the match, we get a video package that recaps Chavo's heel turn. And Chavo is very mad that Rey has a music video and the cover of SmackDown magazine, which is very, very coveted back in those days. And then Horny Pies is, as I heard it the first time when they said his name, I'm like, oh, Horny Pies. Shout out.
I thought Nat fuck with the Google Doc.
I thought someone else did.
No, that's what I wrote it down as, because I did not know how to spell his name. I'm like, I don't know, Horny Pies.
That's fine.
He's in Rey's corner for this match. And before either man can make their entrance, the lights go out and one of the Undertaker's return vignettes play, which actually caught me off guard. I didn't expect this to happen at all. I thought they only played these like when Kane was around, so that actually caught me off guard. In the match itself, Rey hits the 619 pretty early on, but Chavo Classic stops him from hitting the West Coast Pop or the Frog Splash or whatever the fuck he was going to do off the top rope. Then Horny Pipers punches Chavo Classic, which gets him sent back to the locker room. Rey hits a second 619 later on and tries to hit a senton, but Chavo rolls through and locks in a half Boston Crab. Rey gets to the rope and eventually goes up to the top rope, but while the referee is distracted with Chavo, Chavo Classic pushes him off and Chavo Guerrero Jr. gets a roll-up for the victory. What did you guys think of the Cruiserweight Championship match?
I was probably expecting it to be a bit better than what it was, but it is still a good match. Yeah, it's just a fun little match that Chavo and Rey put in. It's like you mentioned, it's surprising that they got as much time as they did, I think. Oh, well, it's not the longest match in the card, because the main event is, but it's the second longest match, so that's pretty impressive. I think you made mention of it before, but Jorge Paez just rocking that OG Tyson Kidd haircut, which was pretty cool.
I wasn't expecting that when he came out. I'm like, oh, tough boxer, man. And he's rocking something even worse than Tyson Kidd.
Yeah, it's much worse. But yeah, I mean, I can't really complain compared to some of the matches we had on the card before this, so pretty solid.
What are your thoughts, Nat?
I really like this match. I couldn't really fault the match except for Horny Pies. I mean, it was a pretty good match, and I kind of forgot Chavo Classic was all with Chavo. No, it was good match. It was shit that we didn't get Chavo.
I had the exact same note. Very disappointed. Chavo,
that was it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm basically in agreement. I thought this was the first genuinely good match of the night. I thought Nidia and Jamie Noble was fun, and the first match was fine. The other matches were kind of okay, except for Rhyno and Hardcore Holly. That belongs in the bin. But yeah, this was a good match. It was nothing spectacular, I didn't think, or mind-blowing, but I thought it was just a really solid match between two great workers, and I was glad to see that they got 17 minutes. Like, I mean, it kind of shows that they have to put them out there for that long because they don't really have anything else to fill the card. But yeah, it's kind of cool seeing the Cruiserweights get that long on a proper main event card.
Yeah.
I didn't have many thoughts on this match, but I thought Mr. Boxer Man, Horny Pipers, he should have jumped out the trapdoor too, and he's a coward for not doing that during Rey's entrance. I was like, when he was about to make his entrance, my first thought was like, nah, Ray's not going to jump out of the trapdoor. He's going to like just run out because the box dude's not going to do it. And he jumped out, and I'm like, is he going to do it too? He didn't. And I was like, oh,
that would have been cool.
That's pointless. Well, what's the point of you even being involved here if you're not going to jump out the trapdoor?
Exactly.
His entrance theme goes, who's that jumping out the sky, not who's that walking out the entranceway. Ray's also wearing his iconic SmackDown Here Comes the Pain attire here. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but it's gold, so I like to imagine it is, and it just makes me think back of what could have been in the Rey Mysterio, John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin stable where they come out in a lowrider.
Oh yeah, that's my shit.
So either of you got any final notes on this Cruiserweight Championship match?
No, that'll do me.
What about you, Nat?
No, I think we're all good. This is better than Kerwin White's shit.
That's not hard to do. After the match, we see Chavo backstage, well, both Chavos backstage. They run into Josh Matthews and his turtleneck, and they do an interview outside of Eddie's locker room. He calls Eddie a loser because he's an addict, and this caught me off guard. I didn't realize this was a part of the storyline, because when you see the video package later on, they full go in it, but I was like, what the fuck? Why is he calling him an addict? That's kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no, they're really full playing into when Eddie got fired. So next up, we get Kurt Angle defeating John Cena and The Big Show via submission in a triple threat match to earn the right to face the WWE Champion at WrestleMania 20. This match only goes 12 minutes and 18 seconds, but it gets 3 stars from Dave Meltzer.
Kurt Angle measuring John Cena. Takes the knee out. Takes the knee out. Now the ankle lock. Now the ankle lock. He's got that thing leg bomb. An ankle lock. Cena is in trouble. And it's the bad knee. John Cena taps out. Kurt Angle is going to WrestleMania.
And Kurt Angle is over like Rover here. He is a face, I'm assuming, and he gets one of the loudest pops of the night when he makes his entrance. Cena does a hippie hop on the way to the ring, and just does these cool rhymes and does sick burns on Kurt and.
You can suck my. You can swing from.
Cena really likes talking about dongs and nuts in this period, which
and I like when he's heel Cena and like he says, "You can all suck my," and he makes the crowd say.
That's how you
essentially making the crowd say their dicks.
That's how you get past the censors. He's smart. Cena is he's got a mind for the business. In the actual match itself, though, Kurt Angle tries to German suplex the Big Show off of the apron, and he proceeds to have sex with him in the process. Full thrust in the Big Show's big ass there, which I remember. This must have been like 2005, 2006. One of the first wrestling gifs I've seen is like a sped up version of him just trying to suplex the Big Show. Looks like he's fucking him. Like, yeah, this is my shit. Like fucking at like 10 years old, I'm like, yeah, this is funny. So Cena hits an FU to the Big Show but can't capitalize. Angle hits the Angle Slam on the Big Show but he kicks out. Angle then locks in an ankle lock on Cena, but Big Show breaks it with a chokeslam. Big Show chokeslams Cena and goes for a cover, but immediately gets put in the ankle lock. Angle, after some more shenanigans, Angle slams Big Show out of the ring, chop blocks John Cena's bad knee, and then grapevines the ankle lock for the win. What do you guys think of the number one contender match?
Yeah, it was another solid match. I don't know. I was kind of expecting this one to go a little longer, but
yeah,
it is what it is. And 3 solid workers, 3 big names. So it was, it was cool to see him out there. I like John Cena with his little rap that he did. You know, the cock one, very very good, man. Like you said,
nice little ditty.
Yeah, it's a nice little number that he had. I always enjoyed. That's when I first got into wrestling was when Cena was doing this. So a bit nostalgic and takes me back. So yeah, good stuff.
What were your thoughts, Nat?
Well, I mean, I liked it. I agree. It should have gone longer. I mean, we could have done without the Rhyno Hardcore Holly match. Let's be real. This probably should have gone for 20 minutes. Could have had your typical like triple threat match, like put Big Show to the table,
yeah,
and whatever. I mean, it was alright, I guess. I just wanted to ask: do you think, Brandon, this is the gif of Kurt Angle slamming Big Show? Do you think that's where I recorded this from?
It might have been. I haven't seen that GIF for a while.
So, just was thinking about that. Not sure.
It could have been. I mean, they were on SmackDown together for ages though, so it could be a different time. But I like to think it is.
But yeah, I did. It was a pretty good match. I think it was alright, and it sets up the Big Show Cena story, and then we got Kurt, and later on we see what happens.
Well, yeah, I pretty much the same as you guys. I thought this was a pretty entertaining match, and it probably could have done with at least 5 more minutes. I felt like the actual finish of the match needed more time to breathe, and it was kind of like a little bit of a clusterfuck where like Angle's hitting the angle slam, and now Cena's hitting an FU, and then Angle's got an ankle lock, and then there's a choke slam, and then there's another angle slam. Like, it's just like one thing after the other. I feel like if they had 5 more minutes at the very least, they could have at least let all of those finishing moves actually breathe and have more impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was a pretty good match. It was a pretty cool triple threat to see in 2004. And I never really realized how much John Cena kind of got pushed like around the main event before he actually got his proper main event run. Like almost a year earlier, he was facing Brock, and then he's in contention for the WrestleMania slot here. So I never realized how early on they kind of marked Cena as a main event talent. I didn't have too many notes on this match. I just thought Big Show makes the US title look like a toy here. Like when he walks out to the ring,
he does.
It looks so tiny. Like that. I guess the US title must be like smaller than the rest of the belts because it just looks fucking like he's stolen it off a child in the crowd. This is not really a note about the match, but Big Show has 4 tiger tattoos. I don't know if you guys realise that.
Didn't know he had 4 tiger tattoos.
Yeah, I only realised this due to the Mattel Big Show figure I had. He's got a tiger tattoo on his left shoulder, on his right shoulder, on his left calf, and his right calf.
Oh, nice.
He must really like tigers. And my final one was, I didn't realise that Cena actually FUs the Big Show here. I thought that, like, the whole point of him doing it at WrestleMania was that it was a big deal, like, that he hit the FU on Big Show. So I was like, oh, he had already hit it. I thought that was supposed to be his big moment at Mania, so...
Yeah.
Knowing that now, it's like, oh, that's kind of anticlimactic when he wins the belt.
Yeah, but no one watched No Way Out 2004.
Hey, man, 265,000 people watched it.
No, there were nobodies.
Any final thoughts on the triple threat match?
No.
Nah, not really.
Well, that means it's time for Nat's Trivia.
It's now time for Nat's Texas Trailer Park Yeehaw Trivia.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, Cow Palace. Woohoo, yeehaw. Yippee-kayak, other buckets. Alright, so we got the trivia score all tied up in the Grand Championship. Pricey on 6, Brandon on 6. How do you guys feel?
I feel like it's neck and neck. There's no room to breathe here.
Yeah, it's tough at the top.
Yeah, it's hard work for the top guys, but this week's trivia is sponsored by Adventure Capitalist. Buy and build your own business empire on PlayStation 4 for free. Get it now.
Oh, I have nothing to say. You already know my thoughts on that game.
It's good free game.
You still playing it?
Yeah, 100%.
How are you still going? You've been playing that for years.
No, what you do, you build up a certain amount, you reset, and you get more money by resetting. And like you keep building it up until you go to the moon and you buy investments on the moon. And then once you conquer the moon, you go onto Mars. It's a good bloody game. This is free promotion. They should just give me something.
Just like real life, huh? That game?
100%.
You should
it's exactly the same. There's nothing different.
You should tag the developers on Twitter when this episode gets posted. Be like, hey, yes. we shouted out at Adventure Capitalist.
Send me a t-shirt or something. So, are you guys ready? You been practicing during the week?
Yeah, I've been doing lots of squats while reading the WWE Encyclopedia.
Nice.
I haven't been preparing, by the way.
That's okay. It's okay. It'll really show when you get all wrong.
Yeah,
that's okay. All right, so question 1. Let's go. Okay. Which 2 current day women's wrestlers were in the crowd here?
I want to say Sasha Banks and Bailey.
Correct. How ironic.
How ironic.
I agree. It's pretty cool that they were there at the same pay-per-view together, isn't it?
Were they there together? Like hugging it out?
No, but I think it's pretty cool that they were there together.
I think it would be slightly cool if Snoop Dogg was also at the pay-per-view.
Then that would be complete. Question 2. How many wrestling pay-per-views were held at the Cow Palace?
1.
Is this
Incorrect.
Okay. I actually thought it was 1. I thought Pricey had it there. I want to say Wait, how many wrestling pay-per-views?
Yep.
Are you talking about wrestling in general?
Yeah. Wrestling on pay-per-view.
2?
4.
Oh.
And I'll give you that because it's closest answer. Actually, and one of the 4 are this one, and there's 2 Super Brawls from WCW, and there's a Super Clash from AWA.
Yeah.
G1 Supercard was not on pay-per-view.
Okay.
I thought you just meant WWE. I apologise. Otherwise, I had that right.
Well, I did say wrestling.
Well, actually, the WWE bought WCW, so technically WCW is WWE.
I said wrestling.
I don't
I
read
said
the
wrestling
T's and C's.
pay-per-views. Okay, question 3. WCW Super Brawl 2000 was held in this building. What on the pole match was Tank Abbott versus Big Al contested under?
Oh, I should know this. I spent a lot of time
you
looking
shouldn't.
at random
You shouldn't.
WCW bullshit.
Come on, man. I'm not a WCW guy.
You know what? I'll give you a clue. It's a piece of clothing.
Pants.
Pants on a pole?
Pair of pants.
That's incorrect.
I want to say it was like a necklace on a pole. Some piece of jewellery.
No, I didn't expect anyone to get this, but it's a leather jacket on a pole match.
As you would.
Terrible. So question 4. So we got Brandon on 2, Pricey on 0. Question 4. Did anyone notice the tail of the tapes on this card?
I did.
Well, here we go. Question 4. In the tail of the tape for the triple threat match, what is John Cena's career highlight?
PhD in Thugonomics.
Correct.
Oh, God.
I know that because I screenshotted that and I was going to
did
tweet it
as
out at some
well.
point.
I thought it was funny. I was like, oh, yeah, he really hasn't done anything.
Hey, he did a Soul Survivor at Survivor Series.
That's true.
I could have thrown that up there.
Question 5, also in the tail of the tapes. What championship did they forget to put on Eddie Guerrero's tail of the tape?
European?
Correct. There's one more.
Oh, there's one more?
Yep.
I would say...
First in.
Light heavyweight?
No.
Intercontinental?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a point each.
Ooh. Can't believe we
Brandon.
split that.
Can't believe I got an answer.
4.
I got an answer right and I didn't go anywhere. We're still
He
fucking...
also won the IC title twice.
Oh,
And they
he's
didn't
just
mention
stacking
that,
them up.
so don't know why they didn't mention that until they mentioned the US title. Question 6. Which diva won Tough Enough in 2001?
Shaniqua?
Incorrect.
Oh,
Nidia, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
yeah, it was Nidia. Fuck.
I was going to answer that straight away. You confused me.
Well, Shaniqua should have won.
Robbed.
I don't know if she was in it, but she should have won.
She was in it eventually.
All right, question 7. What was the main event of No Way Out 2012?
John
Just two
Laurinaitis
names
versus
here,
John
singles.
Cena.
Pardon?
John Cena versus Big Show?
Yes, correct.
Ah, yeah.
And it was in a steel cage match, and you're right, John Laurinaitis' job was on.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
was
that's
involved.
Something about Laurinaitis.
I was
yeah.
thinking it was going to be Cena versus Big Show, that random match that Vince just makes.
That's a show we need to watch too, because they're CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan and Kane, triple threat match.
Nice.
But also Sin Cara Azul versus Negro.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's good
It's a,
shit.
it's a it's a really shitty show. So the semi main, the second last match, a Ryback job match and a handicap match.
Who does he wrestle?
It's two random jobbers.
Enhancement talent, just not even like
Yes.
jobbers from the WWE. Wow.
Yes.
Good pay-per-view.
So I think that's one we should cover down the line. Question 8. What was the main event? Actually, we'll go for first in question because you guys should know this. What was the main event at New Japan's G1 Super Special at San Francisco 2018?
Cody and Kenny.
Correct.
Oh, come on, Brandon. You're the New Japan guy.
Oh, was it? Which one was... Where was the one that... Oh, it was the Walter Pyramid one that had the Bucks.
What?
The Bucks
Walter
versus
Pyramid?
Golden Lovers.
Yeah, it was actually.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was going to say that one, so I would have got it wrong.
Does Walter have his own arena?
Yeah, he's got a pyramid. It's not an arena, bro. It's a pyramid. He built it himself. That's how strong he is.
Well, the scores are tied up here, which is good because I do have a tiebreaker question this week.
Yay.
So question 9, are you ready?
So, yeah.
Closest answer wins. How many wrestlers on this card have appeared this year on Raw or SmackDown?
Oh, good question.
Give it a time limit. I'll get 10 seconds.
I'm going 9.
How much time have I got left?
3, 2,
I want to say 5.
1. It's 6.
Really?
It's all the people you expect.
There's not that many people on the card.
Angle, Mysterio, Lesnar. Thinking at the top of my head.
Chavo Classic.
Shelton Benjamin, and Rhino.
Wait, what?
I've counted 7.
How did you count 7?
First off, Rikishi, no, none of them have.
Who's your 7th?
Well, actually, Jamie Noble would have appeared on TV as well, isn't he? Backstage, doesn't he do stuff?
He hasn't appeared on TV.
Shelton Benjamin. Bradshaw's appeared on TV, surely.
No, not this year. Not in 2019.
Oh, 19. Fuck you. Yeah, I completely forgot
shit,
it was
it's
a new year.
2019. I was thinking 2018 as well.
Yeah, okay, fair.
And also JBL only. Yeah, he did appear last year actually.
He appeared last year.
JBL appeared this year.
No, he didn't.
Didn't he call the Rumble?
Yeah, he called the Rumble, bro.
That's not an appearance.
What do you mean?
I mean
picture of
wrestling.
JBL.
I mean wrestling.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
I mean wrestling.
Get your segment together.
Brandon, if you can agree, you're not going to go those. All right, mate?
I'll be
Because
good.
if I'm a dick, I'm putting Jamie Noble and JBL on there, and Brody wins. Don't make me do it. All right, Brody, you need this next question to tie it up, and we go to the insane tiebreaker.
Ooh, I can't wait.
So just wrap your brains, all right, for this one. First in, what was next year's No Way Out main event?
Barbed wire steel cage.
Oh,
JBL Big Show.
Ah, there you go. You
Yeah.
actually named it.
Yeah, bro.
I thought you were just going to say Barbed Wire Steel Cage.
No, everyone knows the one and only barbed wire steel cage was JBL on the Big Show.
All right, so we're going to my tiebreaker that, well, it didn't look like at the start I was going to need, so this one's going to be very left field. A month later, in March 2004, who was Daniel Bryan's partner when they defeated Gato and Jado for the IWGP tag titles in New Japan?
I'm gonna say
Austin Aries?
He's appeared in TNA. He wears a mask.
Oh, fuck.
Curry Man.
Yes,
I knew it.
That's fast.
Curry Man. Do you know Curry Man, Brody?
I don't even know who Curry Man is.
Curry Man is Christopher Daniels' brother.
He was... Wait, didn't he work... Was he Suicide as well? Like, one of the
For a
Suicide?
bit, yeah, he was Suicide as well.
Man,
He's everywhere, mate.
loves working under a hood, doesn't he?
Curry Man was like his gimmick for Japan, and then every time they'd have a feast or fired match, they'd be like, "Hey, Daniels, put on the fucking Curry Man."
Yeah, Curry Man's back.
And then every time he'd grab a briefcase and he'd get fired.
What the fuck? I've never heard of Curry Man.
It was
Wow,
great. It's
I
actually
can't
one of the
believe
better things in TNA.
Oh, congratulations, Brandon! You've hit the lead.
Oh, it's a good feeling that I got it on a Curry Man question.
Yeah. Do you have a post game speech you want to give out to Brody?
It was a tough battle. You got that No Way Out 2005 main event question right, and I was like, fuck, I actually thought I'd lost, but then when they had the Curry Man question, it's just
Commiserations.
Thanks for coming down to the ground.
Commiserations. Thanks for coming down. It's just the luck of the draw, you know. You never know when the Curryman wildcard question is going to come up.
That's all right. I mean, he's just throwing in WCW questions and Curryman questions. That's okay. I'll deal with it.
Maybe you should study up on your fucking trivia instead of sitting on your ass all week, mate.
Oh, come on.
You said you had no preparation, and see what happens. Your lead's gone.
I almost won, but...
You didn't.
You need to go on Wikipedia and read Christopher Daniels' entire entry.
I probably should. That would be a read. That would be a good read.
Learn about his short stint in WCW where he debuted and then immediately got jobbed out.
Why didn't you ask me about CD's first ROH World title win?
Because that's nothing to do with 2004.
Why not? It might.
I don't care. This is my show.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that was another installment of Nat's Trivia. Arguably the best so far.
Also, I was looking at the G1 attendance. It's half of the attendance. This.
Really,
it was like 6,000. It was 6,000.
New Japan sucks.
Yeah. New Japan didn't do a whole lot when they came over both times, from memory.
Well, this time they don't have any bloody Japanese guys because they can't.
That card, I mean, if they hadn't already sold tickets, fuck, that would have been empty, that place.
Yeah.
Come see Juice Robinson and Dave Finlay.
Ew.
Well, next up, we've got two much bigger names than Juice Robinson and Dave Finlay. It's Eddie Guerrero defeating Brock Lesnar via pinfall to win the WWE Championship. This match goes 30 minutes and 7 seconds, and Dave Meltzer gives it 4 stars.
Come on, Eddie! Come on, Eddie! Eddie to the top rope! Eddie cheated! Frog splash! Frog splash! Come on, Eddie! Get Eddie, do it! 2! Yeah! Eddie Guerrero is champion!
Here is your winner and new WWE Champion, Eddie Guerrero!
And Eddie makes his classic entrance here in his lowrider, but unfortunately he still has the Los Guerreros version of his theme. Which,
Not the ringing phone one.
Which, yeah, that's his GOAT theme.
Yeah, 100%.
This theme refers to we throughout the entire song, and it also shouts out Chavito Heat, which is kind of awkward considering he just had a pretty brutal feud with Chavo, but his music's still giving him a shout out. I think the more important thing about this entrance, though, is that Eddie is so fucking over. Everybody is losing their mind for him here. As for the actual match, we've got Lesnar here. Despite him being basically having one foot out the door of the company, he takes some pretty gnarly bumps here. He takes a bump to the outside where he goes for a jumping knee to Eddie in the corner where Eddie moves. And he just goes flying outside. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Lesnar take a bump like that. I was kind of scared for his safety. So Lesnar hits the F5 to Eddie, but Eddie's feet hits the ref in the head and knocks him down. And the crowd really think Goldberg is going to come out here. Literally the entire crowd is just staring at the entrance as soon as the ref takes the bump. And they'd be correct. Lesnar grabs the WWE Championship and sets up to hit Eddie, but Goldberg runs down and spears him. Apparently, Goldberg escaped Alcatraz earlier in the night, and he's back. They arrested him, but they didn't escort him from the arena, and apparently they took him out of handcuffs. I don't know. You go, it's wrestling. Suspend your disbelief. So Eddie grabs the belt here and tries to hit Lesnar, but he ducks and kicks Eddie in the gut. He attempts an F5, but Eddie reverses it into a DDT that's supposed to land on the belt, but it just basically completely misses. Eddie then hits the frog splash for the win and receives one of the biggest pops I've ever heard since watching wrestling. What did you guys think of the kind of entire reason that this pay-per-view exists?
This is one of my favourite matches.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Wait, is that a Goldberg?
Oh, 100%.
Yep. No, it has nothing to do with Goldberg. So.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's everything to do with... No, come on. Yeah, come on, we're all huge Eddie fans as kids, so to see him win the big one it's a pretty special moment. And I enjoyed the fact, like, you have to have Goldberg interfere because that's to further the story, but having it, like, not just be Goldberg spear him and then Eddie win, like, off that, and Eddie still, like, has to counter an F5 and and get the win. I think that helps it a little bit. But yeah, just awesome to see him win, and it was a fun match.
What did you think, Nat?
Yeah, like Brody pretty much just said, it's an absolutely awesome match. I could have done without Goldberg. No, that's it. Kind of makes the match because it's kind of not believable. Let's be real, that Eddie would beat Lesnar clean.
Oh, come on, man.
And
Eddie's fucking bulked up here, man. He's huge.
I do feel like they should have had more Eddie cheating spots.
Yeah, it's weird that they didn't have really a cheating spot up until the finish.
Like the old he's in the corner hitting Brock and the ref pulls him away and he does the heel kick to the nuts.
Yeah,
that's a good spot, and just more eye rakes like bloody Hulk Hogan 1992. It was a really good match, and this is probably one of the kind of matches you'd show someone trying to get into wrestling. It's got a really good story around it. It's a really good moment, especially for it's like the first Latino champion. Just all round, they did it really well, and guess there's no faults here, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, there's not much more I can say that hasn't been said by you two and basically everybody in the past 15 years. This is a fucking great match. These two just had such great chemistry together, and I don't know if have they ever met one-on-one in a match prior to this? I
doubt it.
Don't
think so.
Maybe when Lesnar had his initial run, as he debuted on.
Yeah, but I don't remember them working together that much. So it's a shame that they didn't get to have more matches together because they just obviously have a natural chemistry there. And even Brock, who's on the way out of the company, and Brock is known for just fucking losing interest and phoning it in when he's kind of done, still puts on a superb match. I didn't really like Goldberg interfering, because it kind of cheapens Eddie's moment a little for me, to be honest. But I mean, you've got to kind of further that WrestleMania match, I guess, and like you did say, it is a little bit unbelievable to have just Eddie kind of beating Brock clean. But I mean, you could have got around with that, just Eddie going full on cheat mode. I don't know. I feel like you could have worked around it, but yeah.
Just Ric Flair mode.
Exactly. Other than Goldberg having to come down and spear him, I love this match. It was great seeing it for the first time and not knowing what was going to happen. I was mentioning before now that Eddie looked jacked here, and Eddie is obviously juicing hard at this point. He has so much back knee.
Yeah, I tried to block that out because I saw it and I didn't want to think about it.
It's probably intimidating though. He has to go up against, he's a lot smaller. Probably didn't like that.
It was not quite as bad as Jinder Mahal had that one time on SmackDown, but it was pretty bad. And I'm I feel kind of bad seeing that, knowing the way Eddie went out. But you could see why he would feel the need to do it when he'd kind of grown up in the business in an era where it was just all big dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, for the benefit of hindsight, you could have been like, Eddie, this is the period that's coming up. A bunch of fucking small dudes are going to be champion and shit. Benoit's going to be champion, you're going to be champion. Fucking Ray's going to end up being champion. So I was like, you don't have to go overboard with the juicing.
Yeah.
But yeah. We also have Lesnar at one point in the match says, "Die, Eddie, just die." So I like to blame Eddie entirely on Brock Lesnar for saying that. And he willed it into existence.
Yeah, that was a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay then. Did either of you guys notice that security ejects a dude from one of the front rows in the middle of this match?
I did not.
No.
They full escort him out. I'm like, oh, okay. And it was there was something like 3 or 4 minutes left in the actual match. So I'm like, oh, this dude is going to miss out on one of the great moments in wrestling history.
Just because it was a ding-dong.
He sat through the whole pay-per-view. He sat through Hardcore Holly versus Rhyno. And then he gets kicked out right as Eddie's about to win the belt.
Doesn't get worse than that.
Yeah, my final note is: do you think Eddie might have been an addict?
Oh, they said it a lot.
They really wanted to let you know that Hardcore Holly and Rhyno broke their necks, and Eddie was an addict. But if Eddie wasn't an addict, we wouldn't have got like that. One time he showed up in Ring of Honor in like 2003 or 2002, whenever it was. So
It's true.
there's that. Did you guys have any other notes you wanted to talk about for this match?
Just how varied Brock's offense was then compared to now. You don't see him doing some of that shit nowadays. It's sort of more just suplexes and F5s. So
It's a gimmick, bro.
He's gotten better recently.
is
He's
it?
gotten more back to this kind of style since he started wrestling.
Because he's not working big dudes anymore.
Like it
Yeah,
started
this-
with Brian. He started doing way more unique shit. It's like, yeah, this is fucking dope.
If you want to learn more about this, listen to Wrestle Hunks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we sort of mentioned it, Matt, you and I. Like him working with smaller guys is just so much better, and this is like an early example of it.
Well, apparently he requested to work with Finn Balor.
Yeah, so he knows.
Yes,
he knows.
usually I'm pretty sure they like ask Brock like who he wants to work with, and they present him names of, like which of these guys do you want to work with. I think he actually said he wanted to work with Braun at the start, and I think after they had a few matchups, he's like, yeah, nah, let's probably not do this again.
That's apparently why he threw the title at Vince. He didn't want to reign. They were doing it.
I mean, shout out to Brock for. I feel like people give him a bad rap, like, and act like he doesn't care about the business. But I don't know. You hear all these
But that's
stories,
that's how he's being told how to work.
Yeah.
and like,
That's what he's being produced to do.
but you like see like with the thing like him like throwing the belt like after his match with Reigns and stuff, and like
Like he clearly cares.
yeah, and
he
like
does
him
care.
wanting to pick better in-ring workers for him to go up against. Like, he clearly fucking cares about the business a lot. If he didn't care, he'd just be like, whatever, just fucking have me face Braun again. I don't care.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he obviously does care, and as I said, like he's about to leave the company to try and make the NFL, and he's still going all out in this match. So shout out to Brock.
So it's pretty much Goldberg's fault about their match, WrestleMania 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all Goldberg's fault. Fuck him. He's a coward.
Fuck his son.
If he was wrestling Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 20, he would have been a fucking barn burner.
It's true.
I'll just say though, their second WrestleMania match, I feel like made up for their first one slightly. Their second one had no business being as good as it was.
It had some
Yeah.
moves in it.
Yeah, it was much better.
It did. It went longer than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any last notes before we move on to the best and worst matches of the night?
No, I'm done.
What about you, Nat?
No, it's just really good. Pay-per-view's okay, but I'd really watch it for that. Like, it's one of those kind of special matches.
So I guess we're all unanimously going to say that the main event was the best match of the night, unless someone really enjoyed APA versus World's Greatest Tag Team.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously the best match, but I enjoyed Nidia and a little special mention.
Yeah, I think that. Well, I was going to say that was my second favorite match of the night, but that would be doing a disservice to the cruiserweight title and the number one contender match. But yeah, that's actually.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it way more than I would have expected when I was kind of putting notes together for this.
Definitely.
I wish we had seen Scotty 2 Hotty do the caterpillar.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed that he didn't actually do the worm, but he got to do the WORM bit, which is like the most important part where people pop for it. So he got to get his shit in, kind of.
That's it.
And then Shaniqua got to get her heat by not allowing it. So what do we reckon was the worst match of the night here?
I mean, it's got to be Bob Holly and Rhyno, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think so.
probably unanimously agree with that. I think this is the first time we've unanimously kind of easily agreed on the best and worst of the pay-per-view.
It's just boring match. Like,
It just didn't need to be there. You could have taken that out because it was only 9 minutes or so, just under 10 minutes. You could have given some of that to the triple threat. Could have given some to the cruiserweight match. I don't know. Give the opener a couple more minutes, and you don't even need that match at all. So, and it's not really there as a breather because you have a random tag team, then that, and then the cruiserweight match. So it's not even there as this is your piss break breather match. So, what are our final thoughts on No Way Out 2004 as a pay-per-view?
It wouldn't be memorable if it wasn't for the main event. So, usually we cover things that I'll probably never go back and watch, but I'm not going to go back and watch this pay-per-view, but I'll probably at some point go back and watch this match again. Just that good. That moment is pretty special.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I mentioned before, but yeah, this is just a special pay-per-view, but well, not so much the pay-per-view, but the match, and definitely go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like it's not a good pay-per-view, but like I think the final 3 matches are enough to be like, if you were watching it at the time, you wouldn't be dissatisfied with it. You would have gone out of it thinking, yeah, that was not too bad. You got to see one really iconic moment, a solid triple threat, and then a solid cruiserweight match. So
yeah,
it's only 2.5 hours long, so it's not like you've sunk a huge amount of time into it. But I guess that kind of does it with our thoughts on the No Way Out 2004 show, which takes us to the aftermath of this event. And at WrestleMania 20, WWE Champion Eddie Guerrero would defeat challenger Kurt Angle via pinfall and retained his title, which leads to the iconic moment between Eddie and Benoit to close the show, which I'm so fucking mad that they can't, like, replay that every WrestleMania. Fucking Benoit just have to go and ruin it. It's such a good moment. It's like, honestly, probably like a top 5, maybe even top 3 WrestleMania moment, them hugging to end the show. And we can't even fucking mention it anymore.
Yeah, you can't. Like, if anyone's a real, true wrestling fan, that one will get you pretty emotional watching that Eddie and Benoit hug. It's just, such a special one. That one.
Like, other than Shawn Michaels winning the belt at WrestleMania, I don't know if there's many like other kind of emotional moments on that level.
Maybe Bryan.
Yeah, or Daniel Bryan. Yeah, Daniel Bryan would have to be number 1, actually. I can't believe I thought about it. But yeah, like, it's definitely a contender for one of the best Mania moments of all time, and we can't even fucking talk about it anymore.
Yeah, not ideal.
Well, after his WrestleMania 20 match, John Bradshaw Layfield would become a thing, and he would start feuding with Eddie. He challenged for the WWE Championship and defeated him at the Great American Bash to win the title. Guerrero would fail to recapture the title from JBL in a steel cage match on SmackDown thanks to the interference of the El Gran Luchador. Which,
was that his name?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Respect.
And, so that's basically the end of Eddie's main event run. It was over in a flash, but, I mean, most people look back on it pretty fondly, a lot more fondly than a lot of other main event runs.
Yeah.
John Cena would begin a rivalry with The Big Show over the United States Championship, and at WrestleMania 20, Cena defeats The Big Show to win the title. Goldberg and Lesnar also continue their rivalry up to their match at WrestleMania 20, in which Goldberg defeats Lesnar in one of the least favourably received matches in WrestleMania history. After their match, both Goldberg and Lesnar leave the company, but Lesnar returns in April 2012, and Goldberg returned in October 2016, and we got to see them at Mania again, as we mentioned earlier, and it was actually a lot better this time. Rey and Chavo's storyline of the Cruiserweight Championship also continued. This culminated in a Battle Royal. Well, it's not a Battle Royal, is it? What do they have?
Cruiserweight Open.
Yeah, Cruiserweight Open. So, what type of match is it? I've never seen WrestleMania 20.
All of them are on the outside of the ring, and 2 of them in the ring, and they have like numbers drawn at random.
Okay.
Once someone gets pinned, they're out, and then someone from the outside comes into the match.
Honestly, I need to watch this. It's got just so many names that I love. It's got Akio, Billy Kidman, fucking Nunzio, Shannon Moore, Ultimo Dragon. Like, that match was made for me.
Do you prefer Akio or Jimmy Wang?
Akio. I hated Jimmy Wang Yang. And then when he got put with my boy Shannon Moore, I was like, cool, I don't agree with this. But then I came to accept him.
You should go back and watch. This is a Shannon Moore WrestleMania match, so you should definitely watch that.
I know. Shannon Moore got a WrestleMania match, which just makes me so happy. They had that match at WrestleMania 20, and Guerrero last eliminates Mysterio to retain his title. After the draft lottery, Rico was drafted to SmackDown while Shelton Benjamin was drafted to Raw, which in the process split up the world's greatest tag team. This would lead to Charlie Haas and Rico forming a tag team and winning the tag team championships from Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty on SmackDown. Starting one of the great feuds over Miss Jackie.
Yeah, that's special, that one.
Rico's fucking 16-month run in the WWE. I was amazed when I found out that Rico was only in the company for that long. It feels like he was there for ages. It's no, he was there for a year and then he fucked off. So obviously the next pay-per-view was WrestleMania 20 and it was held on March 14th of 2004, which, when I saw that, I'm like, what the fuck? That is so early in the year. So I went through every WrestleMania. It's actually the earliest they've ever held WrestleMania in the year, which is weird. These days, you rarely see it outside of April. But it's fucking held in March for some reason, mid-March.
Yeah, at earliest, you'll get, end of March nowadays.
And it's fuck, we've got to get Backlash in. We need to hurry up and get WrestleMania out the way. So this card, we've got John Cena winning the US title from the Big Show, Booker T and RVD defeating the Dudley Boys, Garrison Cade and Mark Jindrak, and La Resistance in a Fatal 4-Way match for the World Tag Team Championship. Christian defeating Chris Jericho, Evolution defeating the Rock and Sock Connection, Tori Wilson and Sable defeating Miss Jackie and Stacy Keibler in a Playboy evening gown match.
Oh, baby.
The old sticky break fucking right there in the middle of the card. So Chavo, as we mentioned, wins the Cruiserweight Open to retain his title. Goldberg defeats Brock Lesnar. Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty defeat the APA, the Basham Brothers, and the World's Greatest Tag Team. Victoria defeats Molly Holly in a hair versus title match for the WWE Women's Championship. Eddie retains his World Championship against Kurt. The Undertaker defeats Kane, and then Benoit beats Triple H and Shawn Michaels to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Which is, honestly, I feel like that WrestleMania has so many, really good matches on it, and then there's so many ones that are just what the fuck? They really tried to shove everything onto this card.
Yeah, I really hate the tag matches on that.
The tag matches do not need to be there at all.
No.
And I'm amazed that they have the Victoria and Molly Holly match on there.
Yeah.
That's when she gets shaved bald. It's awesome.
It actually is. That's a decent moment to have on the card. But do we really need Booker T and RVD defending their belts?
I mean, I'll be honest, I kind of forget about...
What do you forget about?
I just forget that she got her head shaved. That match happened.
It's a good moment.
Yeah, I just think of her as always having a shaved head. It's no, she actually shaved it for a match. That's commitment. But yeah, I guess that kind of does us here. Thanks for listening to the Wrestle Hunks podcast. You can find the show on Twitter and Instagram at WrestleHunksPod. And I'm on Twitter as @SauceMarlow. Pricey is on Twitter as @EvilBrodyPrice. And Nat is on Twitter as @NathMarlow. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, all services that support podcasts. And feel free to rate us on iTunes or any of those podcast services you listen to us on. This brings us to the part of the show where we put up suggestions for what we should review next week, and then throw it into a Twitter poll and let Twitter decide. And because Elimination Chamber is coming up, we've got an Elimination Chamber theme, unsurprisingly. And I've gone for Elimination Chamber 2014 here. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what it is, but I remember it being bad. Do either of you remember off the top of your head what happened here?
I can get it up for you in a second. I'm actually on an Elimination Chamber page.
I'm getting it up now. It's at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's got... What are some dog shit matches here? It's got Batista defeating Alberto Del Rio in a match against half a star. Cameron defeats AJ Lee via DQ in a WWE Divas Championship match. Gets -1 star. Why was Cameron getting a WWE Championship match?
Could you imagine that? Jeez, why isn't Naomi getting it?
Yeah, that's a good question. This pay-per-view has got like some really great matches and some dog shit one. It's got Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. Gets 1 star. But this has also got the Wyatts versus Shield triple threat 6-man tag.
Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got that. Orton winning the Elimination Chamber gets rated pretty highly. Big E and Jack Swagger get 3 stars in the opener.
Okay, not bad.
So, it's also got a New Age Outlaws match against the Usos. We've got to do this. We love the New Age Outlaws.
Oh yeah, great guy.
But yeah, that's my suggestion for this week. Pricey, what are you throwing up?
I've got the 2012 Chamber, which I had. The opener is CM Punk winning his Chamber match against Jericho, Ziggler, Kofi, Miz, and R-Truth, which doesn't sound too bad. But then Brian, the World Championship Chamber, Daniel Bryan wins, and that's the one with Santino in it.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's also got the Great Khali, so I can't imagine that's going to be too good. And the main event is neither chamber match. It's John Cena versus Kane in an ambulance match. So
nice.
This one might be the one. And Justin Gabriel's on the cut. He wrestled Jack Swagger for the US title. So.
Oh, wow. Cape Town Werewolf.
Yeah.
Fun burner.
So, Nat, what are you suggesting?
I am suggesting New Year's Revolution 2005. That's got a pretty good Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, there's great undercard matches such as Muhammad Hassan versus Jerry Lawler.
Oh, no.
And Eugene and William Regal versus and go. Need I say more?
I mean, I feel like you could talk all day about New Year's Revolution 2005's undercard. It sounds like a bomb.
I mean, I could, because there's Shelton Benjamin versus Maven on it.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, Maven was still employed.
That's my thoughts exactly.
Good for him. Get those checks, Maven.
Get him, sis. Get that bread.
Well, do either of you have any suggestions for a wild card?
No Way Out 2012.
I have one. It's Nathan will know this very, very well. It's Elimination Chamber 2015.
Oh yeah, choose that one. I've got it on DVD.
The one with the tag team championship Elimination Chamber. The other chamber match is for the Intercontinental title. But you get a good match with Kevin Owens versus John Cena. So that's their first match. I'm pretty sure they had.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me. I'm happy to do that. I was gonna, if you guys didn't have anything, I was gonna chuck up SummerSlam 03.
Yeah, well, come on, that's the greatest pay-per-view of all time.
I wanted to put it up because Goldberg, but also the show starts off so bad. The first 4 matches are just dog shit. The La Resistance versus Dudley's match gets a shit rating. Taker versus A-Train goes 10 minutes and gets a shit rating.
Great match. That's a good match.
Shane and Eric Bischoff's no DQ Falls Count Anywhere match gets half a star. But then the rest of the match is actually... the rest of the matches are pretty good. So... But yeah, if you want to do Elimination Chamber 2015...
I feel like if you put SummerSlam 03 in, I reckon that'll win.
That'll just win, yeah.
You reckon? Nat was pretty confident about New Year's Revolution, weren't you?
Can't hear.
Yeah, what'd you say, sorry?
Nat was pretty confident about New Year's Revolution.
Yeah, but not if fucking SummerSlam's on there.
Yeah, if SummerSlam 03 is in it, that'll win, for sure.
Yeah, probably. That. People just love that Goldberg nostalgia. We've done a lot of Goldberg-related things here.
Mate, that's good shit. SummerSlam 03, I'm telling you.
Fucking him getting handcuffed. You must have been crying when that happened.
They had so much heat. Evolution. You wouldn't. I was getting pretty hot.
Not in my household.
And I was loving it. It's like, hell yeah.
Randy Orton. Oh.
Well, I guess that kind of brings us to the end of the podcast. Do either of you have anything else you want to say before we sign off?
No, listen to Wrestle Hunks Weekly in a couple of days, and we'll be talking everything about the Elimination Chamber that's coming up next week.
What about you, Nat?
No, I've got nothing to say, buddy. Watch your 205 live.
That's all for this week. Shout out to Kalisto and Sin Cara being in an Elimination Chamber match, and stay hunky.
Delicious.
Good stuff.
That Michael Cole photo, that's amazing.